G'day and welcome to the Hypto cryptocurrency review. And remember, this is now under advice for Bitcoin, and cryptocurrencies have unusually high rewards if you get it right, and unusual experiences when you're trading them, and a lot of fun. So here's our disclaimer and warning, and this is general advice only by Desk Trading Proprietary Limited, a corporate authorized representative AR 289519 of Alpha Securities, AFSL 330757, level 222 Pitt Street. This is general advice and does not constitute financial product advice, and you can read this faster than I can speak it. My name's David Hunt. We've been looking for a bull market in Bitcoin. I have a couple of questions that have hit the streets today, and one of them is from Amila, and she's asked me this question, I think, on Facebook. I'll just pull that up so you can see it. She's asked me this question here on the Hypto currency traders results Facebook page. She says, thanks for your videos. Great info. I understand you were a technical trader. So what are your thoughts on XVG? And she's asking particularly against XVG versus Bitcoin. I checked them in the Telegram channel, blah, blah, blah. Roadmap says RSK Q41, Q1. I have no idea what RSK is currently trading for less than 1 cent, so huge potential for growth, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what we're seeing here, and thank you for your question, Amila. Here, and I'll pick this up here. We want to make sure we're looking at XVG USD. I'll start with this one and we'll get on to what's been happening in Bitcoin. We did think that Bitcoin was getting ready for a bit of a pullback, which we saw overnight. And this is Verge against Bitcoin over the past few months. It was obviously created back in, first floated back in February 2016. And what we can see here is it's had a fantastic run. I like the fact that it's retested this area. I think that's really, really cool. I hope you can see my screen. It looks like you can't. Let me pick this up. And what we're seeing here is a retest, which is good. This is a positive thing. Notice here we've got an ABC pattern, which is a flat. Notice that the recent correction has been declining. This is a reasonable chance of going towards about 18 or 20 cents pretty easily in my opinion. Now, what we've seen here on the weekly charts, I like to start with the monthlies and then work with the weeklies. We can see a good move so far. It washed away all of the sins of this previous decline. Should be really looking towards about that on Bitcoin versus Bitcoin 0.0000124 area. And this gets difficult when you've got Bitcoin. I don't expect it to push much higher than this area here, which is 0.0000002 at the moment. So if you're buying it, your stop loss needs to be around about on the weekly charts, a close below 0.000000055. Sorry for all the zeros. Next one we're going to look at is on the daily chart. You can see volume has exploded. It's heading towards the bottom of the negative cloud, which means should it break through, let's call it 100, it will scoot pretty quickly through to about 125 parts per Bitcoin. Currently, pretty well okay to buy, dips down towards 77 parts per Bitcoin. Stop loss would be at 66 parts per Bitcoin. It's on the run. Let's drop into the 4-hour chart, which is, we can see great volume here. And if you're buying, this stop is at 71. So thank you very much for that question there, Amela. I hadn't heard of Verge as well. So let's look for Bitcoin on the on this scale. Now, Bitcoin, I was saying yesterday, yeah, it's doing not so good. We notice we do an ABC pattern. We've had a 5-wave structure to the upside. It's kind of broken trend here. And so for my money, we see the trend line broken. And so we should normally get it pulled back. And I was talking yesterday about somewhere between 13,000, which is my dream, and about 1,000, which it got into yesterday on the 24-hour range, down as low as 15,154. So it had apologies for that, down as low as 15,632. So that's this is congesting. This is forming probably a little ABC pattern, but maybe a bit more complicated. So support is really around that 15,200 area. Bitcoin, of course, suffered from the fact that ground to a halt when so much money was hitting it to trade other things, and went through the roof. And we've seen Litecoin spike up. What I would call is probably a head and shoulders pattern. It'll have difficulty at $320. It will find support at 280, a break below 270, pulls it back down to about $240 on Litecoin. So be cautious on that. The whole complex tends to move as one. We've had some good runs up, and in a lot of these ones that are not Bitcoin. Here, Ethereum also have a big tail washout to the downside, down towards 620, back into support over the last probably 8 to 12 hours. If you are buying this, stop loss should be at $608. There is a possibility that this pushes to new high, but eventually I think you'll find that Bitcoin will overwhelm it, and the interest in Bitcoin will take it further. Let's look at Bitcoin Cash. We'll take it further back. Bitcoin Cash has had a good run. Now, it's popped its head above the old tops over here. And it's basically not, I don't trust it as much, so you must understand my bias in this. This spike up here was manipulated. It's a heavily manipulated currency, this one. It's controlled by a gang of a few people. So what we see here is it's rallied and it's doing okay monthly wise. Back down at 859 is curious. When I say curious, that it may be well a buy. We can see this scoot up on good volume. It's been correcting on sideways volume. So I wouldn't rule out a push towards, say, about 2,200 before Bitcoin then takes over as more important. Let's look on the daily charts. Daily charts has kind of got nothing going for it, maybe up to about 1,800 at the moment if your long stop loss is at 1,388. Let's slip into the old and miserable BTG, the Bitcoin Cash. And Bitcoin Cash is struggling to get above the old tops there. So, sorry, the old lows there. So maybe if it closes above 289 or 290, you'd think about buying it, but otherwise there's better trades elsewhere. Now, Dash, we've seen this move beautifully within this pitchfork, and we can see that it rallied up and then it washed all the way back down to retest this old resistance back around the 786 area. It also came back into the lower part of the upper channel, and so it's probably going to track sideways for a while, form a triangle, and then push higher again. Stop loss if you are long this should be at $738. IOTA, lots of people talking about IOTA. What I've been talking about on IOTA is the beautiful technical triangle that is appearing here. This generally means it does push higher, but it does mean that it will hurt you every time you try and buy a breakout. It might have a bit more time before it hits towards $5.80 or $6. Stop loss if you are buying or long is $3.75. And if you wish to buy dips, it's probably just had its dip, but you might get filled around about the $3.88 area with a tight stop. NEO, I think this is very interesting above $44. Unfortunately, it smacks of the same rubbishy trading stuff that Ripple has. Now, if it can close above there, then we're above there now, but it's still not officially out of the woods, but it's quite interesting if it can close above $44, which is, I believe, that just high over here. Now, make that $46. I better change that. So. And bear in mind, some of these charts, I'm not used to doing it. It's not my usual charting package. And if that's the case, then we're probably looking towards about 52 and maybe even 60 on the top side for NEO. Now, Power BTC, this is the Power Ledger versus Bitcoin. This is an Australian crypto or ICO, and it's forming a little bit of a broad sweeping base. It needs a little bit more effort and closing up in above 4,125 parts per Bitcoin. Stop loss should be below 3,531, and target would be around about 5,000 parts per Bitcoin. In terms of Ripple, I was very happy to get out. I had an order from things that I've been buying down here, and I put an order on and it got filled, and basically around this area here, and then it pulled back, and then it went straight up and ignored me. So Ripple has been rocking and rolling. It's starting to form a little bit of a too many friends pattern. It stopped trading this shit tail stuff. And it had a nice pullback. So probably if it pulls back, you'll be looking down around about 40 cents for Ripple. That's a reasonable pullback. Zcash also had a big pullback, and we can see it's probably best to have a stop loss in the middle here at 370, and you might make it stop close only. And Stellar Lumens, or whatever it's called, it's struggling a little bit. Now let's talk about Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin should have a pullback down into probably Sunday to Monday. We'll be looking to buy down there at the bottom end of the channel or into the top of this positive cloud. So watch for those structures. Generally, we should see another shoe to drop. They've tried to rally it up again. It's probably old buyers, possibly institutions that are just trying to get in. They have a tendency to buy. Once their orders are filled, then it probably rolls over again. Thanks very much, and I hope you've enjoyed that. I'd love your feedback if you can let me know anything that I'm doing wrong. And check out profithunters.com.au for updates and the ability to ask me questions anytime on any cryptos that you have an interest in. profithunters.com.au, and I wish you all a good time, and I'm going to try and work out how to turn this off. And got a couple of things running here.